Hello my friends, it's Sheree. How's everyone doing today? Guess what we're doing today? We're making pockets for our new sewing journal, the one that is landscape or like this. We worked on this cover the other day and I promised to show you the pockets and the sewing when I do it, so this is what I'm doing today. So I picked out, I thought this would be the perfect, with this wider cover like this, it would be the perfect spot to use a full and be able to open up and use a full packaging from seam binding. So I picked out two. This one is a little, you see, it's a little higher, a little longer that way. They're both about the same width. This is just a little tiny bit longer. But here's the scraps from the file folder that I used to make the cover. So I was like, oh, perfect. I can use some of these scraps and glue these down. So I'm going to glue them down in the same way that I glue down the cover. So they'll be nice and flat and nice and glued down. So let's do that. This one has a cool coupon on the back, but a lot of mine have a coupon on the back, so I had to kind of ignore that. Oops. Ignore that and just do it, because I kind of, you know how I don't like to cover things up, so I'm having a little trouble doing that, but I'm just gonna go for it. So let's do that. Okay, and then I'm gonna glue these down. I get to use some of my scraps here. I'm just making sure there's no score lines down here. This is the top piece from the file folder. Will it fit all the way over here under the tab? That kind of little tab part there. I think it will. I put it right on the end. And near the close to the bottom as possible. So I wanted to see how it would kind of iron itself out with this glue. And, where the folds are, kind of those would be nice and flat. Where's my bone folder? It's a good spot for it. Here, I think. To really flatten out that fold where it was folded for a long time before I opened it up and used it. And in my storage too, I just have it, I never really creased it. I just took it off, and I have a little container that I keep them in a little drawer here in my craft room. So yeah, that ironed itself out real nice. Very cool. I like it. So we'll cut that out in a second. Let's do the second one, this other scrap from the file folder. There's the score lines right there. But this fits perfectly on here. Right, like it's just the same size pretty much. Let's try this one. A little chunk there. I need to smooth that out real good, so I don't have a chunk under my paper. Okay. And then this part here. The edge is real good. Okay, I think I have it. Let me get this edge real good here too, one more time. Yeah, I think it's covered head to toe. Now we don't want to put it over the score lines, or at least I don't. Put it right down on the bottom edge here, because this is pretty much the same size as the file folder. A little sliver up there at the top. But smooth it out with my hands first, and then I'll use I always have glue on my fingers. And then I'll use the bone folder. So this is actually pretty thick paper, so I'm not worried about tearing it with my bone folder being, not super sharp, but it is a little sharp. Okay, smoothing out that fold. Kind of like almost, it really is ironing it. It's crazy how it It's so smooth. And then here, this side. And here's the fold. All right. I think that's as smooth as we're gonna get it. Now I need to cut them out. So we have nice sturdy pockets here. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to use just the paper. So I cut these out so that there's no file folders showing. So there's a little sliver. Let's cut this side off first. And the bottom looks good. And the top has a little sliver. So we're going to go ahead and cut that off. There we go. Okay. I have to think about, do I want to round any of these corners? I'm going to think about that while I cut this one out. That's what I was just, when I was looking at it just now, I'm like, did you read my mind? That's what I was thinking about. Or were you saying the same thing? Is she going to round the corners? Sheree, do you want to round the corners? I don't know. I don't know if I want to round the corners. Kind of do and I kind of don't, because I want to keep it, I kind of want to keep them their original shape, but I kind of want to round the corners, so I don't know. I got to decide right now, because I'm going to go sew around these, and then we're going to sew around our, I guess I'll do it all at the same time. Sew around these, and then, well, I got to glue them, kind of glue them inside the front cover. I guess I'll show you. We'll do that together. Got to think this through, right? Yeah, I think, because it looks like, you know, if you look at it like this and you don't know that there's cardstock underneath, it looks like the original, you know, piece from the packaging, right? Because it's squared off and it's going to stay like that. And this one too. So I think I'm going to keep them. I don't think I'm going to round the corners so I can keep it looking like it's original. So yep, that's what I'm doing. I decided. Thank you for letting me work through that. Okay, so before we sew around the cover, let's go sew around these. I just want, like, I don't have to. These are nice and sewn, you know, these are permanent with permanent glue. You don't have to sew around. I don't have to sew around with permanent glue stick, but I'm going to just for the effect of the stitching. Even on this one, even though this is black, I'm still going to sew around it just for the effect. So I'll be right back and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, I have sewn around these and used black thread. So of course you can't see it that well through the black here, but you can see it in person, and maybe you can see it in the camera probably. Here's the other one. Just a straight. I didn't want to do a zigzag stitch because I didn't want to really stitch into the writing here. And I just, you know, kind of wanted to keep it looking like the original, but, you know, sturdy and a little bit of sewing there around. So I'm thinking I'm going to tuck it up into the corner. Well, this one's going to go, the bigger one's going to go in front, and this shorter this way is going to go in the back. But I'm going to, this is the back, I'm going to tuck it up into this corner, so when I sew the cover, it will be sewn in with the cover, you know, here and on the bottom. So, because I was thinking about, too, putting it in the middle, but then it would just, when I sew the cover, it will be just sewn on the bottom, and I'll have to rely on glue wherever else, and I really want it to be sewn in a little bit better than that, or glued in or whatever. So I'm going to glue it in, but I'm going to also sew, of course, around the cover. So let's go ahead and sew this down. So glue this down so it'll stay in place when I go to sew it. So I'm going to put glue here and here. And I'm not going to put glue over here. So that leaves, as I've said before, it leaves this open so you can put things that are bigger than the pocket in here, and you won't be restricting yourself to just the size of the pocket when you want to put something in here. So let's do it. Well, I've got a really big clump on here now. Let's clean that off. Okay. So, are you going to flow? Are you going to work? Didn't I just use this? You saw me, didn't I? I did. Okay, so this is the outside. Make sure I'm putting it on the right place. I'm putting it on top of the stitching. All right. All right. Let's see. So, tuck it right into the corner. I just have to be careful of this is a pointy corner and our cover has a rounded corner, so I'm just kind of putting it down like that. Here and here. All right. That's our back cover. Now let's do the front cover. Glue here and here. And make sure this is upright. I know it is, but I still have to look. Because my it's obvious because my my closure ribbon is right there, but I still have to look. All right, there we go. Tuck that into that corner. Okay, dokey. Finally, I've been saving and saving these things, and I haven't used very many of them, so I'm glad to use some of these. Okay. Now I'm going to go sew, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have sewn around the pattern, front and back cover, and it was fine. Except for I could tell my machine wasn't really happy, like where the pocket was, because basically at that point you've got 3 layers of cardstock, the paper from the packaging and the paper from the pattern, so quite a bit to go through there. But it did go through. My needle didn't break, but if you're doing this, I would say be careful. Maybe go slow in that part and just make sure everything is cool. Let me see, let me put this piece right here. And I always sew, when I'm sewing on like a cover like this, I sew from on the outside. So I like to see what the outside of the cover looks like. So just be careful of what you have on the inside, that it doesn't get caught on anything, because it's underneath. So, and I didn't sew here on the outer edge where the coils are going, because if you've never used one of those machines that punch the holes, your binding machine, it punches through your threads, so it's kind of like, you can sew there, but it kind of gets messed up in your threads. You have to clip off your threads, and it's okay, but, I thought this time, I usually do sew there, but this time I thought, let me try not sewing there and see how that works out, because I'm sure it'll be fine without having so much, I don't have to worry about the punch binding machine going through my thread. So anyway, there's that. So let's go ahead and put on the trim while we're here. Here's the trim I picked out, this new trim that I got. So really cute little flower trim, and it's got the black center, so that goes with our black, the thread is black on here. I'm sure you can see that, but the thread that I used is black, and my favorite stitch, the number 17. And then we're going to put this right here. So we cut right about here in between these 2 flowers. We're going to put some on the back too, and we'll use some fabric tack to put this down. Super cute. I really like that I picked out black for, for the color, so it goes well with all the colors and stands out, and you can see it, and it just really enhances everything. As a good kind of base color here on the outside. Okay. Gonna get plenty of glue on here, but not too much. All right. Let's put this down. There we go. And I think some kind of trim or whatever your fabric, we're not really doing fabric here, so I definitely want to do a trim. You know what I mean? I can't do fabric over here because you don't want to punch through that either if you don't have to. I think I have done that before too. And so, and it's fine if you want to do that, but because then you have little, when you punch through it, you have little pieces that you have to cut off too, which it works. It'll work. You can do it, but I'm just choosing not to this time. All right, that is cute. Okay, let's put some on the back. Same spot somewhere over here. All right. I wonder if I could. Let me get a piece here that's the right length, and then we're going to experiment for a second. So about right here, I'm not cutting any flowers in half, so I'm just whatever whole flowers I can get on this piece. That's what I'm doing. I want to see if I put my coils here and I put this over here where it would go about like right there. So I think that would look weird. So I think I'm going to stick with putting it over here. Like right there. I think that looks cute. I want the stitch, and I want to cover up the stitching. Let's see. There's a little line of words right here, and then a little division, and then some more, like, you know, they have all these little squares and rectangles here. So I think in between, like this little tile, yeah, it looks good right there. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. And then now I'm going to start getting the pages ready. So, and these are fun, you know, because it's not a signature, so it's fun. It's fun to do this journal, kind of journal too, where you're binding in and you have, like, you know, the single pages instead of signatures. I love doing all the different kind of papers and binding, so it's fun to do the different, you know, orientations and things. Good variety, same type of journal, sewing pattern journal, but it's also very different, right? So it's fun for me anyway, making different types like this, and being able to do different types of pages and everything. It's a lot of fun. Okay, that is cute. Okay, we'll let that dry now, and I'll come back. I'll probably go ahead and cut some pages, so you might not see me cutting pages, but I'll give you a little update at some point and show you where I'm at with the pages. And then once we get all the pages done, I can go ahead and bind it, and we can get this thing done. I have a little tassel I might use, but it depends on, I'll try it out on here before I show it to you and see if it goes, and if it doesn't go, then I'll make one. But yeah, I think this is shaping up, and I really like it. Really, really cute. So I'll see you in my next video. Hope you enjoyed today. Finishing, really, we finished the cover. Let me show you. Did I show you the inside even? There it is. I kind of want to move this out of the way so we can both see better. But there's the pockets. See, something will fit in here. You know, you have all this room and it can stick out. Here you don't have, since we didn't glue there, we have room to put something, you know, you have room to put something really big, and then same with the front here, you know. You stick out way over here up to the coils, or you know, can go up to here. So very cool. And sometimes I'll do this. I'll just go ahead and tie it so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. Kind of. Going to be a little fatter, right? But you kind of see how it looks with the bow tied here. I like to do this. It's so cute with the bow tied. There you go. Isn't that adorable? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching today and you know, hanging out with me. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Move this over to the center. There we go. See you later.